Hi, welcome to our next debate. We have Colton and Ashley with us. They're going to be talking about the issue of economy. Okay.
Hi, I'm Ashley Perez, and I'm representing Jill Stein of the Green Party.
Hi, I'm Colton Rebel. I'm representing Mitt Romney of the Republican Party in the 2012 election.
Okay, thank you for joining us here today, guys. Ashley, could you go into more detail about who you are representing and why, and about the economy?
I'm representing Jill Stein for president because she does not think Obamacare should be in there at all. There's no money, there's too much money involved in this plan. And for Romney, he is going to want to keep Obamacare but cut the expenses. He should not keep what is causing debt. As for taxes, they shouldn't extend taxes because of the fact that citizens are in fact in poverty. Even though they will cut taxes for the lower class, the upper class, if Romney is in fact is elected for president, he will extend tax cuts and the upper class will have the minimum of the taxes, and it's unfair for everybody else. As for minimum wage, we should raise the federal minimum wage to $9.80. This is better for those who cannot support their family right now. It should be mandatory for all states to extend their tax cuts because if one state has extended minimum wage, if they have extended minimum wage and another state hasn't, it is unfair for those states. Welfare. Able-bodied and mentally capable adults who receive welfare should not be required to work because it is a form of slave labor. People that feel that they don't have work should not be forced to work. Don't have to work should not be forced to work. Romney is saying yes, adults who receive welfare should work. We should not force citizens to something they do not have to do.
Okay, Colton, your points.
Yes, I'm representing Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney believes, first of all, that the tax cuts, 2001-2003 Bush tax cuts, should definitely be extended because they have been saving the average American family almost $3,000 a year. And when it comes down to, dime for dime, people that live paycheck to paycheck, that $3,000 a year makes it or breaks it. As for Obamacare, I believe some of it should be kept, such as Medicaid and Medicare, Social Security, those parts of it, but Obamacare is too expensive. It's a $780 billion plan that should not be there. The stimulus package that Obama put into motion the very first day he was in office was an absolute unnecessary thing. They costed this country almost $1 trillion. It also bailed out the GM and Chrysler companies. The projected view of the recession before the stimulus package was put in motion was would top out at 8.5% unemployment rate. And with the stimulus, he expected it to top out at 6.5%. And if it did achieve that, it would have been worth it. But the stimulus package that he put in motion, the unemployment rate actually topped out at roughly 10%. It made the economy much worse than what it would have been because it tricked the economy into thinking it had money that it didn't. And from that, the economy has done nothing but collapse. As with federal wage limits, I think it's up to the state to decide, simply because some states are cheaper to live in than others. There are states that cost more to live in, there are states that cost less to live in based on land and real estate. So in a place like Nevada, it's going to be cheaper to live there than it is going to be to live in Florida, because of the fact that Florida is a peninsula and it is by the ocean. And with things such as
Okay, great opening statements. Let's have our chance for rebuttal. Ashley?
Why would we keep Obamacare if you're just gonna cut the expenses? Why wouldn't we just end Obamacare? Like, there's no point in it.
the Obamacare, certain parts of it this country has had for roughly 20 to 30 years, such as Medicaid and Medicare for our seniors. Cutting those off would stop the prescriptions that our seniors need, the doctor care that they need. And also cutting those off would stop the needy families of parents who aren't able to work or can't work. They wouldn't be able to get their children the medical attention that they need.
That goes back to like the debt that it's causing. The government cannot afford to have Obamacare.
And I agree with that. Certain parts of Obamacare need to be cut, such as the fact that requiring every American family to have Medicaid or Medicare, or they have to purchase health insurance, is unreasonable. And the fact that the government has to run Medicare and have a government-ran Medicare is unreasonable as well, simply because it is unconstitutional and it's costing this country too much money.
As for tax cuts being extended, why would we extend tax cuts if it's unfair for the middle class and the lower class that the upper class has the minimum of the tax cuts being extended?
How is it unfair when the tax cuts are saving them money?
It's still unfair because the upper class has the most money out of all the classes. So why would we cut them and confuse everybody?
Cutting the tax cuts, these tax cuts affect everybody at the same amount. Because they make more money, yes, they save more money, but that money's also, they also like to invest in the small businesses the rich often do. The rich also usually invest that money into its employees, which the employees then save money on their taxes. As it moves down the line, more and more money is just getting saved because of these tax cuts.
Which brings me to federal minimum wage. You say that states, it's up to the states if they want to raise them or not. What happens if they do not want to raise the federal minimum wage to $9.80 instead of $7.25?
They must have perfect reason to do it. Some states, their unemployment rates are too high at the moment, and increasing minimum wages is going to increase their unemployment rates because small business owners will not be able to afford it. And also, certain states, it's also cheap to live in. They don't need to have a high minimum wage, such as $9.80, to make up for how much their land costs. When you can buy an acre of land for a couple $1,000s in some states, and in other states it's several tens of thousands of dollars.
You're also saying that able-bodied and mentally capable people, adults, who receive welfare should be required to work.
Yes, they should. There are perfectly healthy people out there that are living off the government that other people are paying for. I pay my taxes every year. I do not want to pay my taxes to cover some lowlife in New York or in anywhere that doesn't want to work just because he's lazy. He wants to live off the government. He wants to sit there on his computer all day. That's not fair. There are too many people out there that have to work every single day to provide for their families. And then there are people out there that think they shouldn't work simply because that they shouldn't. You got to have a better reason than that. And there are people out there that are disabled or are not mentally able to work that should get that money instead of the people who are perfectly capable of working that are not.
Okay, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to cut you off because we're over time. Wonderful job. Thank you very much for this debate.